I've worked on it a lot. My mid-range pull-up has been something that I feel like is one of my strengths. And I'm real comfortable shooting that and be able to get to the rim and be able to mix it up off pick and rolls. That's one of my strong suits in my game.
Speaking with Dwayne Casey earlier this week, they mentioned that you guys were working on some stuff, maybe not shooting from when you're jumping so high. Normally you expect a little time before those things start to kick in, but you've had no problem making that adjustment at this level. What is it about the coaching staff, or what is it you guys are doing behind the scenes that made it such an easy transition?
Just the confidence Coach Casey has talked to me about in my shot. He likes what I do with it. It's just not being so athletic. He doesn't want fatigue set into my legs because I'm so athletic. I'm always jumping, I'm always active, especially on defense. So making my three more of a jump shot and more of a set shot, and not using as much leg, so there's not wasted motion or anything going wrong in there. It's real simple, smooth, straight follow through to the rim. And he said if I'm not able to get that shot off, it means I need to drive. So just making that adjustment, making those reads, and continue to build that consistency. I've been able to do that over the course here.
Speaking of adjustments, normally the adjustment from the NCAA levels to the pros is a little bit difficult. You seem to be so smooth in the way you've transitioned, and a lot of it is your approach and your demeanor. Has the coach talked to you about how you handle yourself? Because you seem more mature than your age.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one thing that really attracted to the Toronto Raptors to me. The way I handle myself on the court and off the court, real professional, real mature, really focused and locked in on what my role is and what I need to bring to the team. So I think that's another strong thing for me, to be able to be a four-year player and mature my game. I've went through some things and adversity that made me be a better person right now.
Is it more the 4 years, or is it more a combination of your own personal lessons and your demeanor and style?
Definitely a combination of both. The 4 years and what I've gone through growing up and just how I carry myself. I carry myself as a clean-cut young dude, and I want people to see that as me when they see me around off the court and especially on the court.
The other day you talked about how it felt like such a good fit to be here with the Raptors, but when you go 46, do you feel like you have a lot to prove to the people who didn't take a chance on you earlier?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm a first-round player. I've told a lot of teams that when I went in there to work out. And I've always carried myself with a chip on my shoulder. I have a lot to prove, and I know I have a lot of doubters and people saying that I don't belong here. So that's just added fuel to the fire. Anybody who's counting me out, I want to prove those people wrong, and that I'm a good player and I belong at this level.
It's only been 2 games, but everyone's sort of kind of talking about your performances. How does that feel? Like, you're smiling as I say that. How does that feel?
It feels good. My coaches texting me after the game and things like that, but I'm always telling them there's a lot more work to be done. There's a lot more things I need to prove, and there's a lot more things I need to build on. I'm really critical on myself and the way my game is. I don't really take compliments. Well, I don't like compliments. I always feel like there's something I need to do better and get great at. I'm chasing perfection, as one of my favorite players says.
Who's your favorite player?
Kobe Bryant.
What are the things that you're trying to show this summer, and what are the things that you yourself are trying to improve upon when you're in practice?
I'm just trying to show how competitive I am, and how much I give myself up for the team for the win, and just my defensive prowess and ability to lock and guard multiple positions. That's my strength, and I know showing that fuels everything in my offensive game, and just showing that I'm a dog, and I love the grind and I stick to it, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
You take a lot of pride in being a two-way player?
Definitely. The two-way players do great in this league, and a lot of players that I model my game after, Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler, Russell Westbrook, those are two-way players, and I try to build and mold my game like them.
Have you had a chance to talk to Casey about what he likes in players defensively and the kind of player you are?
Yeah, I've been able to talk to Coach, especially when I was out there for my pre-draft workout. He grabbed me after the workout and said that he's going to be keeping an eye on me. He likes my game. He likes the toughness, my demeanor on the defensive end. And they're looking for that culture in Toronto. So he likes what I bring to the table, and he likes what I have on the offensive side too. So just to see a coach like Coach Casey see the abilities in me, and I'm really excited to have me on the team. Feels great, and it helps with my confidence.
What's the biggest change you have seen at this level? It's summer league, it's not regular season yet, but just on the floor, is there more spacing? Is it faster? What are the changes you're noticing?
Definitely the floor spacing is one thing that's really big and different, which I like. I feel like my game really fits the NBA level of being able to be athletic and get into the lane and finish and get to the rim. But I've also noticed the defense being in positions. You got to be locked in the whole time and be right when you're on the weak side, being helped, being able to be the crackback guy and not allow lobs. So it's a little bit different than the college game.
When we talked, I talked to you in Vancouver over the phone, and you mentioned that you wanted to show people that you're more than just a defender and a guy who gets out in transition. How much work how much work have you put into that shot? Because this is the thing that's kind of jumping out right now in these 2 games here.
Yeah, I've put a lot of work in my shot overall. I feel like I wasn't able to show that over the 4 years at UCLA, but I have that in my arsenal. And you know, there's always continued work on that, making reads and being able to find my spots on the floor offensively within the offense. But I'm really comfortable with taking that shot and knocking it down.
Final question from me, at least. When you guys are out there and the team has put such an emphasis on defense, when you are forcing 24-second violations, what does that feel like? When the bench is reacting, you guys are out there.
Oh, it feels great. You know, that's the energy that I love to bring to a team. You know, defensive stops. You know, that feels everything offensive, not only for me, but the team as well, being able to build that confidence. Once you get defensive stop and you're holding them to 24-second violations, making them take bad shots early in the shot clock, whatever it is, you know, that fuels what what the team's doing, and that's our main focus here at the Summer League: defensive stops and getting out in transition.